What's going on, everybody? This is 10 Rolls On, back once again today. I wanted to give you some of my thoughts on Battlefield 5 before I dive into that Time to Kill or Time to Die update that's due out probably actually on the day that this video comes out. In the background, you're going to be watching me play Battlefield 5 on the first day that I was able to on PC. Try not to be so hard on my performance there, I know it's pretty abysmal. So anyway, my thoughts on Battlefield 5 thus far. We're going to start with the positives. It looks pretty, and it sounds pretty. To the surprise of no one, EA and DICE have made yet another stunning looking first-person shooter. It is really tempting to just kind of stop and take a look around at your environment and see just all the detail that went into this. And the sounds are amazing as well. I mean, just hearing the bullet fire just whiz by your character, or hear a rocket coming in to basically turn you inside out. It's very, very cool. Battlefield 5 does have a campaign. I want to point that out. It's good. It's a little repetitive. Sometimes it's a little too long. It's nice in that it lets you kind of bounce around all the different theaters. Not all the different theaters, but several different theaters of the war. And it's really nice to have. Taking the campaign out of a video game that has had one is never really a good idea. Microtransactions seem to be not really a thing. They're there, but they're not forced on you. They're hardly, if ever, advertised. All I've seen a use for microtransactions to be is for buying cosmetic upgrades. A lot of it's just kind of dumb looking. Also, a major point of contention for me with Battlefield 1 was just the way it handled. Battlefield 1, the hit detection, the aim, it never felt good to me. It never felt like my bullets were going where I really wanted them to go. And I feel like Battlefield 5 has fixed that. The controls feel tight, but in a good way. I feel like my bullets will usually land on target, and we'll get into that more later. But it is certainly an improvement, a noticeable improvement over Battlefield 1. Also, and maybe most importantly, this game, whether I'm playing single player or multiplayer, is genuinely fun. I mean, we all often forget why we play video games in the first place, and at least speaking for myself, I play video games to have fun. This game satisfies that. It really makes you feel like you're part of the action, and that is just great. Another positive I want to point out is that every class is now able to revive a teammate. The difference is that medics can do it quicker. They have that revive tool or syringe or whatever they call it in this game, and it lets them revive teammates much quicker, but it still doesn't stop a support character or an assault character or a sniper from reviving someone as well. It just takes a little bit longer. Now that the fact that everyone can revive is a positive and a negative, because you get people who are irresponsible with it. They will try to revive you in enemy fire. Now when I'm trying to revive people, I will make sure that the threats are taken care of first, because you're just exposing yourself, and if somehow you get that revive off, you're going to expose them too. So always check your surroundings. Make sure there's no one aiming a gun barrel at you, waiting for you to bring your teammate up before you do so. Another positive is that I seem to be leveling up much quicker than I was on Battlefield 1. Whether it's the class upgrades or it's just my character in general, leveling up is really not as terrible as it seemed to be in the previous game. So unlocking guns isn't so much of a chore anymore, and we'll touch on the gun situation again later. And finally, grenade spam seems to be gone. Grenade spam almost ruined Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 was ruined, but it wasn't just grenade spam that did it. And so, it's not an issue in this. Yes, you get grenades thrown at you. Yes, there seems to be a lot of smoke grenades, but it's nowhere near as much of an issue as it was before. So thank goodness, grenade spam, not so much a thing. That's it for the positives for this video. I know that there are more. If you feel like there are more, drop them in the comments. I want to hear them. But I'm going to move on to my negatives here for now. And I want to start with the fact that I don't think there's enough tanks. There's not enough vehicles. And there are some maps, and we're going to touch on the maps again here in a minute, but there are some maps that don't have enough tanks for everybody, and it's just not fair. You know, if it's a tank map and there's 12 tanks, I don't even think there's that many. But I mean, if there's just a handful of tanks, you still have 32 guys playing. Alright, and could you imagine what a 32 on 32 tank battle would look like in Battlefield? Sounds pretty fun to me. Next, I want to touch on the time to kill or the time to die. I don't necessarily have an issue with it. I know a lot of people do. My issue with it lies in that it's just inconsistent. You know, there will be times I'll drop someone really quick and it feels satisfying and it's awesome and fun. And then there's other times where, you know, I'll get 3 to 4 headshots and I don't get anything except a death. You know, I'll get shot for it. It's just inconsistent. I know a lot of people think it's too short, and that seems to be what EA and DICE are addressing in this big update coming up, is they're lengthening the time to kill and the time to die, which, man, I'm really on the fence on. This is an EA game, it's a DICE game, it's buggy, it's a negative. There's not a whole lot I can say about it. There's nothing really game-breaking. I've had my game crash a couple of times, but it's nothing consistent. It doesn't happen every time. You know, there's sometimes you'll die and fall through the map. It's not game-breaking. I think it's just kind of funny, and it's a little sad to think that this is a AAA game and this is what we still have to deal with, but it doesn't make me angry. It doesn't make me want to return the game. I don't understand that. There's also not enough gun variety. I know that they're more than likely planning on rolling out guns with each successive update, and that's fine. I encourage that. It makes us want to get the DLC, but out of the box, there is not enough. You know, you've got, just as an example, you've got your assault class that can use the assault rifles and the semi-auto rifles, and that's it. You know, and there's not nearly enough. You know, why is it split up? And then when you split it up, there's even fewer. So if you're a person who likes to use a full auto assault rifle, which they did exist in World War II, you don't have that many options. And you've got even fewer options that are viable in combat. So the gun variety is a problem for me right now. I get tired of getting killed by the same shit every time. How is he not dead? Thank you. The maps. I have a few issues with the maps, but first, they don't have enough cover. It is too easy to get killed by a bomber. It is too easy to get killed by vehicles when you don't have one backing you up. I should be able to find somewhere and take cover. That's what Battlefield is. It seems to have hung its hat on in the past, is that there is destructible environments, yes, but there is an environment to be destroyed. And too many of these maps are wide open fields. And I understand that, you know, a lot of the battles in this war were like that. But for a video game, maybe it's not the smartest design choice. Also, staying on the map topic, they don't have enough variety. You've got some towns, you know, that, okay, you know, it's the beta map that we've all played 100 million times by now. But a lot of the maps are open fields, and it's like, oh, well, this one has snow, and this one's a desert, and this one's grass. All right, cool, but it's still an open-ass field. Just more variety. It seems like they're just kind of hedging their bets too heavily on these DLC maps. There's also not enough countries represented in this game. This is an issue I hammered on in Battlefield 1. I know they planned on adding countries like countries like France and Russia later on, and they did. But it still didn't change the fact that those primary players in the conflict were not available out of the box, and in this game it's the same fucking thing. But you know, the French are missing, Soviets are missing. I don't know if Canadians are in this or not. I guess it'd be kind of hard to tell. I don't recall ever playing as an Australian. You know, the Italians, I don't remember any Italians being in this. So I don't like that. You know, you gotta fucking just pick a path for this game and go with it. If you want to be historically accurate, then at least get some of the major players in this game. So I guess my final question then for you is a rhetorical one, is that does this game even have enough content overall? A lot of my complaints have been not enough of something, whether there's not enough gun variety, not enough vehicles on the map, not enough maps, not enough map variety, not enough factions available to play as. So do you think this game has enough content to warrant a purchase? What do you think about this game as a whole? What are your positives? What are your negatives? Leave them in the comments for me. Let me know what you think about the game. Let me know what you think about my video. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. That always is very much appreciated. So I want to thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time for more Battlefield.